Welcome to St. Mary the Virgin's Lenten Reflection for Tuesday, Lent 2. My name is John Hayashi, and I'm glad to be sharing my personal reflections with you of today's meditation in our Lenten book, Ashes and the Phoenix. Now that we are in Lent 2, I hope you have settled into Lenten spiritual discipline that is comfortable for you as we prepare for Easter. Having been sheltered in place for almost a year now, I'm finding my periods of self-reflection around our daily readings to be a welcome contrast to my workday, since there's not a lot of other activities to draw my attention. I hope you look forward to your daily Lenten reflections also. Like last week's readings, I made an immediate connection to the narrator, a son attending evensong church service with his mother, but grieving over the memory of his father who died a few years prior. I too am able to spend personal time with my mother, who is 98 years young, and I think a lot about my dad, who passed in 2013. What captured my attention in this reading was the immediate lifting of the son's heavy feeling of grief over his father's death that happened during recessional, when he overheard kind words from a priest to his mother that her husband was a good man and the priest missed him. Having his personal grief quickly lifted upon hearing that someone else missed his father too reminds me of how all-inclusive our world should be and that we should never feel alone. Our human life is filled with highs and lows, but no matter how high and no matter how low, we do not shelter in place to revel in good times, nor dwell in our sorrows for extended periods when times are bad. Our lives should be multidimensional, as we shared in Saturday's reading. We should open our eyes, hearts, and lives to God's presence. Our lives are enriched when we cycle through the ups and downs with God and others, especially when we recognize that the bad times don't last forever, but by the same token, nor do the good times. The son's grieving during evensong also brought focus to the recognition of denial in our lives that was featured in Sunday's meditation in our book. In this context, I agree that we should not deny our feelings of grief, and instead should recognize the love of God that simultaneously exists in our daily life. Stealing from Sunday's reading, when we deny ourselves the step of feeling our grief fully, we separate ourselves from the love of God. Moving to our poem for today, the key thought is the gift of humility, which we pray is always present in our daily lives. We should be reminded to stay humble while doing good, but we should also hope that humility is present for salvation from despair. I like to think that I'm a humble person, so for me, today's meditation is a thoughtful analysis of the interactions of grief, denial, and humility that I am still evaluating in my mind. So I'm looking forward to the rest of this week's meditation and my personal reflections to reconcile the messages I'm receiving. Peace be with you.